You're the perfect blend of elegance and style, and your ride should be no different. The 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid meets all your needs, from business to brunch and everywhere in between. With head-turning details like a sleek front end, plus stylish interior, and an available 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and seamless tech integration. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more about the new 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid.
Wow, this house is cute. But can I really get in the game in this economy? I do have savings, and I am responsible-ish. I should bury it. I'm being wild. But what if I'm not being wild, though? Could I actually score a...
Kick off your home buying journey with Zillow's new BuyAbility tool. It makes it easy to find out what you can afford, so you can get off the bench and onto the playing field with confidence. Check your BuyAbility, only on Zillow.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was getting frustrated by your forms. Now, Taxes is uploading your forms with a snap, and a TurboTax expert will do your taxes for you. One who's backed by the latest tech, which cross-checks millions of data points for absolute accuracy, all of which makes it easy for you to get the most money back, guaranteed. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
I get so many headaches every month.
It could be chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those who have 14 or fewer headache days a month. Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor. Visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
All right, ready? Ready, 3, 2, 1, shaboom. Who are the running backs that the Rams should be targeting in rounds 1, 2, and 3? And who do we like out of that specific group? We'll talk about that next on this off-season draft edition here on the Rams Up Podcast Network. What's going on, Rams Nation? Welcome back to the Rams Up Podcast Network. I'm Ian. That's Mark. Like, subscribe, share this video and podcast with all your fellow Rams fans out there and football fans. We very much appreciate it. Mark, how you doing today, man?
Pretty good. More draft talk. Always up for that.
Yep, more draft talk. And Rams Nation, running backs, this class is freaking deep. And there's a large handful of guys who we believe and I believe deserve to be picked in rounds 1, 2, or 3. So let's get right into it. Starting with, I think, everyone's number 1 ranked running back, but we'll go through it just the same. Round 1 worthy, in my opinion, if the Rams have that pick, and he is here. Running back Ashton Jeanty. No doubt about it, he's round 1 worthy, Mark. Give us some fun facts about him.
Yeah, well, 2 words that really sum it up. He's a generational talent. That's what they're saying. 5'9", 215 pounds. I think he plays bigger when I've seen him, though. He just plays like a bigger dude. Runs a 4.42 40. First team All-American. Won the Doak Walker Award. That's the award for the best running back in college football. Finished second in the Heisman Trophy voting. Led the NCAA with 2,601 rushing yards. That's 28 yards short of Barry Sanders' record. and
Yeah, it's crazy.
averaged over 7 yards per carry. And Lance Zierlein likes to do a player comparison, which is sometimes fun, and he compared him to LaDainian Tomlinson.
Well, that's a great that's a fun comparison right there. As Rams Nation, all these rankings are based off film that I've watched, and Mark has also, had time to watch some as well. And how we are ranking these guys is purely based on our own two eyes, and obviously a lot of my eyes as I watched a lot of film on these guys. Probably more than I thought I would. Then you get suckered in, then it's like hours and hours later, and you're like, holy crap, I have work tomorrow. I better go to bed. So here I am after many, many hours of film study on all these guys we'll talk about today. Just a little heads up on that. Ashton Jeanty, vision, excellent. Agility, pretty dang good. I wouldn't say it's excellent because a lot of times he just has a great cut and his speed is so good. There's really not like I got to break ankles and do crazy stuff like that. Not that he hasn't done that, but it's not like a defining trait of his. But so be it. Everything else is so dang good, right? Again, power and strength also excellent. The power running is good because I know he's a smaller guy at 5'8". What do you say, 211, Mark, if my memory serves me correctly? They're on that ballpark.
These every site you go to, the heights and weights are slightly different. I had him at 215. CBS, NFL.com had him at 215, I believe. CBS Sports has him at 211.
Okay. 215. I think I had seen 211 from somewhere, and that just was in my brain right now. So I heard two something in the teens, and that's what I thought I heard. Right. But it doesn't matter, Rams Nation. Long story short, power running is fantastic again. The speed, excellent. Pass blocking, excellent. Breaking tackles, excellent. Catching is good. Route running is good. He didn't do it a ton because they're like, let's just hand you the ball and you just do magical things. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Let's just say in a dream scenario, Rams are picking, maybe they trade up and they want to get him in the high teens. Let's just say Sean McVay absolutely falls in love with them. Couldn't be mad at them trading up to get this guy if he fell, which I don't think is going to happen. But let's just say in a dream scenario, we don't trade up and he's just there at 26. What an absolute slam dunk this would be for a first-round running back. So Ashton Jeanty, round one worthy, clearly. Enough said about him. And great uniform. I like how they copied the Denver Broncos old throwback. Says, I'm a uniform junkie. I enjoy these little things here. But with him, though, Mark, here's where things get pretty fun based off the film. And this might be somebody who maybe you guys are starting to hear of. But this is somebody I had no clue about. And then people are like, yo, you got to watch him. Watch his highlights. Watch his tape. And I'm a tape guy. I got to see what the play in and play out looks like. But Omarion Hampton from North Carolina is a beast, too. And I was like, holy crap, this guy is round one worthy as well, in my opinion. Mark, what's some fun stats about him?
Okay, I have him at 6 feet 220. That's consistent across both sites. 4.46 40, downhill, heavy workload guy. Second team All-American, 15 rushing TDs, third in the FBS with 1,660 yards rushing. And Lance compares him to Ramondre Stevenson. I think he's probably an upgrade over Ramondre, but similar style.
Okay.
Similar traits.
That's fun. I think that's not a bad comparison. I just think he's got a little more explosive nature to him. But let's talk about him, Rams Nation. Another round one worthy running back, in my opinion. Let's just say he's there at 26. If Sean McVay said, let's get this guy, great. I think along with Ashton Jeanty, I forgot to mention this. Apologies here on my notes that are a lot, as you can see, maybe. Both Ashton and I will say about Omarion, they are schematic fits for what we do. They can fit in any scheme. So Omarion would definitely fit in our gap scheme with obviously some zone principles that are now sprinkled in. So his vision is excellent. His agility for a big guy is excellent. It's really insane, right? Ashton Jeanty's a smaller stature guy. Maybe the pound for pound isn't that much less, but obviously 6 foot compared to 5'8", there is a big difference in just your mass that you're carrying around, right? But his agility is still excellent. Power and strength is excellent. The power running is excellent. I mean, talk about somebody who you would want to be in this, smash mouth style of running game that we run with a good home run hitting ability, right? I mean, the speed isn't as fast as Ashton Jeanty, but it's still pretty dang good. Faster than Kyren Williams. Let's just call it what it is. Shout out to Kyren. He's my guy, but he is faster than him, no doubt about it. Pass blocking is excellent as well. Breaking tackles is excellent. His catching, I think, is very, very good. I mean, every time he's throwing the ball, I mean, he snagged it. Route running, average, right? He's a bigger body, and that's something you can always work on. Those things, those skills could be acquired, but that's not his game. We're not having him out there to be lined out wide and do all that. It's like, hey, we're here to hand you the football, and let's freaking rock and roll and make some good stuff happen. So Omarion Hampton there, Rams Nation, if he's there in round one and we drafted him, I would be happy. He is a round one worthy player running back. And again, other positions that won't necessarily be the case with all these guys we talk about, but he is round one worthy in my opinion, Mark.
Yeah, and for reference, we talk about how fast these guys are. Looked up Kyron and Blake's draft profile, and you're right, Kyron a little bit slower, 4.65 in the 40, Blake Corum 4.53, just for reference.
Yeah, and what was Omarion's? I don't have it off film, off like the top of my head. I don't know these guys' 40s off the top of my head, but I know I'm just watching film. That's all I'm doing it off.
4.46, so just a tad slower than Genty.
Yeah, I mean, the speed is good. I wouldn't say it's excellent. Like, Genty, I think, plays faster than his 40 time, for sure. And there's other guys, I think, that are that case as well. But again, Omarion Hampton, a round one worthy player, which I would be happy the Rams had gotten. So, who's the next player? In no particular order, but I guess so, maybe just for my personal preference right now. But I think someone who is round two worthy could maybe sneak into the first round if maybe a team really falls in love with his skill set, is TreVeyon Henderson, one of the running backs from Ohio State. The vision is good. His agility, I think, is good. The power and strength, I think, is good. But overall, the power running as a whole, right? Can you just bulldoze people consistently? Can you get the tough yardage and move piles? That's definitely not his game, for sure. But before I continue and I get more excited about his other things, Mark, what are some fun facts about him?
Okay, he comes in at 5'10", 208, and let me cross-reference that. Yeah, that's pretty, CBS Sports has him at a little bit lighter, 4'4", 340, so he's pretty quick, great in space. And remember, we're going to talk about another Ohio State running back. So they had two guys that busted the 1,000-yard mark. So you can't hold it against him for being not racking up all the yards some of these other guys. But he did have over 1,000 yards rushing, 10 TDs, and he also did some damage receiving, 27 receptions for 284 yards. And Lance compares him to Aaron Jones.
Interesting. I kind of like that comparison. There is a smoothness to how they run and all that. So I got excited and started talking about some of his stuff from Nations before I let Mark give some fun facts. So to his weight and all that, again, his power running, even though I think his strength and all is good, I just think he's not like a pile mover guy like, oh, I'm going to bury in to get a 4th and 2, right? And I got to get those 2 yards. It's not necessarily a guarantee with him and all that. But the speed, that speed, Mark, Rams Nation, is freaking excellent. Like, he's got that home run hitting ability. Like, oh, he got a lane. See you later, right? His pass blocking is excellent as well for not being this big human being that doesn't weigh over 210. I mean, some of his pass blocking reps is so violent, and you're like, this is perfect. I love it, man. Put some people, some blitzing linebackers, some free D linemen in the dirt. He did that a ton. Breaking tackles, I think, is average. There's times I was like, oh, I wish you would be able to, get through that arm tackle, and maybe he gets tripped and all that. And that may be his weight. That may just be like, hey, I'm not trying to, bury people in the dirt running the football. He's more of a speedster. But, again, he is strong. He does look for contact. He's not shy of that. Catching, I think, is excellent. There's some crazy catches that he had this last season. I was like, man, that is freaking fantastic. And the route running is good. I wouldn't say it's excellent. It's definitely way better than average. But, the times that he was deployed, as he did split time as a running back, we'll talk about eventually, I'm sure if he was a full-time guy, he definitely could have been up there with like these insane multi-purpose, all-purpose yardage guys, right? If he was a full-time 3-down running back. But he wasn't because, he got banged up a little bit, missed time. And then obviously Judkins, again, who we'll talk about in a little bit, was somebody who was worthy of getting the football a lot too, Mark. But there's a team out there that will probably fall in love with him, and they could be like back end of the first round. But I do think he's round 2 worthy for sure.
Yeah, he's a guy that kind of fits what the Rams do, I think. Definitely. There's just so many good running backs. I get torn up about which one I like the most. They all have something to offer, and there's a bunch of them, huh?
It's all about flavor. And to that point, Mark and Rams Nation, I think this would be a great compliment to the thunder that is Kyren Williams, the thunder style that is Blake Corum. Shout out to Ronnie Rivers that kind of do it all. He really he's I guess he's more thunder than lightning, right? I mean, they're all smaller stature that like to bulldoze and lower their shoulder and all that. So this would be the lightning to that, right? We need somebody who we've all said, dang it, we wish we had somebody that could break those runs and get those 40, 30-plus yards. I think my memory serves me correctly, Mark, Rams Nation. The Rams were like bottom 3. I might even be dead last in explosive run plays of 20 or more plus yards. So that's a problem. That cannot be the case if we want to win a Super Bowl. I mean, you cannot be bottom 5, let alone, I want to say, bottom 3, dead last, 32nd. That cannot be the case. And this guy coming in, being the lightning to the thunder, he doesn't have to get the full workload. I think will work out pretty dang well. And I think McVay and them will have their eyes on this guy for sure for that reason,
Yeah, and I think they kind of hinted at that. And that's the question. Are they looking for a Kyren Williams, Blake Corum clone? And I don't think they are. And I think,
no, I don't think so
they
either.
hinted at that. So they will likely draft a running back, and it will be a guy that's a little bit different, offer something a little bit different than Williams and Corum for sure.
For sure. And then, keep this in mind, though, Rams Nation. Kyren is entering the final year of his rookie contract. So this could be a case of like, well, we're still going to take whoever the hell we want, and then Blake can fill in the thunder role, and then whoever we get in lightning, that'll be, the cheaper, more economically friendly cash-wise for the team. So, I mean, don't forget these things. We all thought Ernest Jones and Van Jefferson were going to be Rams for a little longer, and those guys got sent away, before the season started, and then a couple games into the season of their respected final years as Rams. So nothing would shock me here. But TreVeyon Henderson, I'm in on him. Round 2 worthy for sure. And then as we move forward to this talented class of players in the running back group, and there's so much more that we probably won't get to today, which is just, it's really crazy if you think about it too, Mark, Rams Nation. Somebody who was very eye-popping to me, and shout out to Holden, I think Cantor, excuse me if my name's not right, he's a fellow Rams mate on Twitter X, who has a nice following, is one of the OG Ram guys on social media. I had seen a tweet from him, because I think he is a University of Central Florida, UCF fan, and he was like, this guy RJ Harvey's ridiculous at running back, and I was like, let me see what that guy's about. That sounds interesting. And this guy was absolutely crazy, Mark. Crazy. Round 2 worthy, in my opinion. R.J. Harvey from Central Florida. Give us some fun facts about him.
R.J. Harvey, 5'9", 208. So he is right in that Kyren Williams, Blake Corum, metrics anyways. 4.4 speed, though, so he's a blazer. Lance calls him a blue-collar back, though, which surprised me given his size and his speed. He set a school record with 48 total TDs, and last year, 1,577 yards rushing. So he has quite a resume from his time there at UCF for sure.
Yep. And he is round 2 worthy. Why, Rams Nation? Let's get into it. His vision, excellent. His agility, excellent. Breaking people's ankles. I mean, just jump cuts you couldn't even believe were happening on the field. You're like, holy crap. The athleticism is insane. His speed is also excellent and insane. When he gets an open lane, other times he got caught. I mean, sure, but there were other incredibly fast defensive backs. But most times, see you later, he's out of there. His power and strength for being a smaller stature guy is good. Very, very good for that smaller, quote-unquote, smaller frame. His pass blocking, I think, is average, though. And that's something you can work on with technique. And obviously, a lot of that is want to as well. But sometimes you went in for kill shots and miss. Sometimes I didn't feel like he got his shoulder. He kind of just threw his shoulder in. And I think those things could be improved upon for sure. I think his catching overall is pretty good. His breaking tackles is pretty good, right? He's a smaller guy. There's times he got wrapped up and taken down. But I think also his route running is pretty dang good as well. But again, Rams Nation, that vision, that agility is ridiculous. Like, if you can't find any film to watch play-by-play with him, look at some of his highlights to get an idea of what I'm talking about. It is ridiculous. But I happen to agree with that bell cow work. I mean, he was a huge reason why this offense was scoring a lot of points because of this guy right here, Mr. Harvey. As it was insane. And you can make that argument. Yes, he was playing against lesser competition, but he was absolutely embarrassing them. So again, how do you translate that to the next level? You say, okay, if it's this freaking excellent, I think a lot of these things will be very good next level. And I think this would be another player that could fit in with the Rams schematically, just like all the other guys, other than, maybe some other dudes that we'll talk about in a little bit that scheme-wise I didn't see them having much diversity. But he definitely can run the gap stuff, run a ton of that at UCF, can run the zones, can catch the screens, will be absolutely insane on screen passes and open space. This would be another lightning to the thunder that is Kyren and Blake and Ronnie Rivers. So I think this would be somebody Sean McVay would really like to get into the offense as well. Mark.
Yeah, and he's a guy that's been on our radar, my radar, and Scott Richmond and I have talked about him a couple of times as that just a different type of back than we've had in a while. So yeah, if Ram fans are looking for something a little bit different, a guy with a little bit of a home run hitting ability as well, Harvey would be a good choice, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. And he was fun to watch, man. His tape was absolutely crazy. But you know who else's film was also crazy too, who I enjoyed watching? The other Ohio State running back, Quinshon Judkins, who I also believe is round 2 worthy. And there's some people that might disagree with that. But, Mark, I love these type of running backs, man. So round 2 worthy in my opinion, but could he fall in the 3rd or 4th? It happens. There's a lot of good players in this draft, I believe. And the vision is good. His agility is pretty good for a bigger guy. But before I continue to get more excited again, Mark, share some fun stats and some facts about him.
Okay, Judkins, like I said, the other Ohio State running back, and he's 6 feet, 219 pounds. Let me see if that checks with CBS Sports as well. 4.48 40. One of the 2 Buckeyes, as we said, over 1,000 yards rushing. He actually had more TDs, 14 rushing TDs. And Lance compares him to Joe Mixon. And I love Joe Mixon. So if that's accurate, okay. I'm liking some Judkins for the Rams.
You know what? I like that. I like that a lot. So how does that fit in with Joe? Think of Joe Mixon again. The vision is good. The agility is good with Judkins as well. His power strength is excellent. Power/strength. I mean, this dude bulldozes. Think like Joe Mixon, a bigger body guy who's still agile, and the speed is good as well. So, Joe Mixon isn't like this game-breaking, see you later, he got a lane and forget about it like a Saquon or a Derek. But, if he gets some speed, he can outrun some guys for sure. So, I didn't think about that. I like that comparison. Pass blocking is excellent. Just like his teammate, buries people, puts linebackers and blitzers in the dirt, and just picks it. I mean, it's fantastic to watch him. Breaking tackles is very good as well. His catching when he gets thrown to, I think, is good. His route running is average, as that was really not his game. They had, Travion Henderson doing a lot of that stuff. But this is another running back that fits schematically, would be perfect for the gap scheme that we run, could still do the zone. And again, if we hadn't ended up picking him, I wouldn't be mad about it. But you could say, all right, what happens with Kyren, what happens with Blake and all that, and I get it. But, that didn't stop, Sean McVay drafting Cam Akers in the 2nd after drafting Darrell Henderson in the 3rd the previous year, while also having Todd Gurley the year before that. So Sean McVay has no problem pulling the trigger on running backs that can maybe do the same things and have a slightly different flavor or just fit the scheme that are good football players. So don't be surprised if he ends up being a Ram in rounds 2 or 3, Rams Nation. This is a damn good football player who I really like, and everything's pretty dang good. And that power strength, man. Shout out to Paul and everyone else who's part of the Run the Rock, Smash the Iron, Hammer It Down Nation. This guy's got that. It's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, and you talk about dropping into the 3rd and 4th round. You're talking about 11 running backs, and there's a couple of others that you didn't include that could also go. Maybe you didn't like as much. So, one of these 11 guys you're talking about is probably going to drop into the 4th round, I would think.
Yeah, I'd probably say even half. Let's just be honest about it. Just in the inflation of other positions and running back. Right. We can find that running back later. Just people just keep getting pushed down the totem pole. So wouldn't be shocked if that happens to Quinshon Judkins. I don't think he would be a 4th round level running back. I do think he's round 2 worthy, round 3, depending on who you talk to. But to me, based on everything he does, this is an NFL starting running back right here, even though he's splitting time and may not have the game-breaking speed you want. But He can start for my team. I'm in on him for sure. Then another running back, Rams Nation, who I had no idea about until some people mentioned him. I started watching film, which was really fun to watch all these guys here as I pull up my page on him. And you're going to have to help me with the name here, Mark. I always butcher it. Apologies for this gentleman here for Virginia Tech, number 33. We have Mr. Tuten, but I cannot pronounce his first name to save my life.
You're asking me to be the guy to pronounce it right. Are you serious? My reputation does not precede me. I pronounce it Bashul Tuten.
Me too. But shout out to Bashul. Give us some fun facts about him, man.
5'11", 209. And let's see, CBS Sports has him a little bit lighter. 4'3", 240. This is a guy that blew up the combine, almost took the Triple Crown, led his team with 1,159 yards rushing, just a speed demon. He did have some ball security issues for his last 2 years there. So, that's going to maybe be a strike against him for those of us who have watched Kyron Williams struggle in the same way. And Lance compares him to Isaiah Pacheco.
Interesting.
I think Tuten's probably a little bit faster, I'm guessing. I didn't look up the numbers.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's get into it, Rams Nation, Mark. Vision is good. I like it. He sees lanes. Obviously, it's not like, holy crap, how did he see that at the back of his eyes like some of the other guys, or back of his head, excuse me. Agility is excellent. Ankle-breaking moves. You see it all the time. Holy crap, what a jump cut, what a spin move with this. I mean, it's absolutely freaking fun to watch. His speed, excellent. Speed demon, like you said earlier. Gets a lane, sees it, hits it, see you later, off to the races. House call. Definitely has that in him. His power and strength, I think, is pretty good. And his breaking tackles is excellent. For a smaller stature guy as well, you see him get through tons of those arm tackles. You see him sometimes break up somebody wrapped up and he spins out and keeps the legs moving. Pass blocking, average. Definitely can need work on that, as a lot of players do coming into the league. Route running, catching, I think it's pretty good when he got thrown to. Didn't have any tons of drops that I had saw. But I think the main thing about him, Rams Nation, is that he comes primarily from a zone running team. Did not see him run hardly any gap scheme stuff, right? Any duos, any whams, any power, any counter, traps. I didn't see any of that. Now, do I think he could translate into it and learn that and adapt into our stuff? I think he could. I think when you have talent like he does, he can make it work. But I just did not physically see it with my own two eyes. So I don't want to necessarily say it's going to happen, but I think his talent, it could happen. What were you going to say, Mark? Apologies.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just distracted a little bit by the end of the basketball game there. But yeah, Tuten is,
in the corner over there too.
Yeah, if Tuten is, if you're looking for a change of pace, if we want to characterize him as a change of pace running back, this guy has to be at the top of your list. When I say change of pace, I mean a change of pace of what the Rams have now in their running back room, right?
Mm-hmm. And he would be that lightning to the thunder that we already have. But again, he is primarily in a zone running scheme. That's all I really saw. A lot of outside zone, a lot of inside zone, a lot of stretch runs, a lot of, zone tosses, and that's pretty much it for the most part. So could it work? Sure, I think so. He's got the speed and talent, but you just never know. Some guys could just never adapt to one scheme or the other, and it happens that way, which is why you always hear scheme fit. He fits us. He fits us. He fits us for A through Z. So we'll see. But round two worthy for sure, in my opinion. This dude is crazy explosive. And as we move on to another explosive running back in my eyes, as I pull up the proper page for that gentleman here, we move on to the University of Tennessee running back, Dylan Sampson. Round 2 or 3 worthy in my opinion as well. As Mark, what are some fun facts and stats about this gentleman?
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Uh-oh, the last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean, these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Lowe's knows member-only doorbuster deals make SpringFest savings even better. Right now, rewards members can get 3 19.3-ounce Bonnie Plants vegetables and herbs for just $10. Plus, save $50 on a Char-Broil Performance Series 4-burner grill, now $149. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/7, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location, subject to change while supplies last. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms.
Okay, I have him at 5'11", 201, runs a 4.42, so pretty fast. He was SEC Offensive Player of the Year, a school record 22 rushing TDs in 2024. That was a record that stood for 95 years. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
yeah.
and they went back a few years for the comparison for Sampson. They Lance compared him to Brian Westbrook, if you remember him.
Oh, Brian Westbrook. Well. Smaller stature guy, right? If you remember the Eagles days when he was, leading teams to NFC Championship appearances. I like that comparison too. Very good. So with Dylan Sampson from the University of Tennessee, another high explosive spread offense. His vision, excellent. Sees things in the back of his head. You're like, holy crap, how did he see that? The agility, same thing. Jump cuts, breaking people's ankles, spin move, all of it. You're like, holy crap, this is video game stuff right here. Absolutely fantastic. The power and strength, though, is average. And that's a part of maybe his size and weight and stature. Definitely something that teams probably will not like overall. But that speed is excellent, though, Mark Rams Nation. He's another home run hitting guy. Finds a lane. See you later, right? Pass blocking, average. Some bad moments, some good moments. But, that's probably with the size and his strength overall. Plus, smaller stature. And, again, those things can be worked on. You can be a smaller guy and you have good technique and, get guys out of the way or at least, lock them up, right? Catching and route running, I think is good. Didn't get thrown to a whole ton, right? And I think his breaking tackles, though, is good. Definitely more than I expected when sometimes, we get caught in a pile and we get tackled immediately. There's moments where you're like, oh, nice, that looked good. So it's very inconsistent with his breaking the tackles. But I'd say overall, more times than not, it's more on the good side, I guess. So I guess above average, pushing good on him. But he would be another lightning to the thunder of the Rams backfield that's currently constructed. He has there should be no worries about him fitting into a gap scheme, as Tennessee did tons of counter, tons of a lot of wham stuff, a lot of read options with pulling people, pulling guards, a lot of up the gut traps. So he's definitely used to a gap scheme, and obviously did zone and all that. So scheme fit, have no worry about him at all. And Mark, another lightning guy who I think would be second or third round worthy, just based on, again, that agile, that vision, that speed. That's valuable.
Yeah, I wonder if they invited this guy to the game when he broke that record. Yeah, 22 rushing TDs, 95 years. That's crazy.
That's crazy, man. Shout out to him. He was a good player. The film doesn't lie on that for sure. But another player that's been fun to watch and I enjoy, shout out to all you all you Arizona State people out there. Running back Cameron Skattebo from Arizona State. I think he's round 2 or 3 worthy. Mark, give us some fun facts about this guy.
Well, this is a guy, you watch him play and you watch him talk. For a super confident guy, he'll tell you he's the best running back in college football, and he might be right. Probably isn't, but 5'10", 215, 4.65 in the 40. I think he's the slowest guy here. But as they say, the AFC, the scouts that I read and Lance Zierlein, just ignore the metrics with this guy. He just creates carnage, plays running back like a linebacker, just an angry, feisty player on the field. First team All-American, second in the FBS with a school record 1,711 yards rushing. And they compared him to a running back that I think gets overlooked, that I always was confused why he didn't get more carries for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's Jaylen Warren.
Interesting comparison.
I don't think there's really any. It's really hard to find a guy to compare to Cam here, right? He's a different beast. He really is.
I mean, I know people think of prime Peyton Hillis, right? That one year with the Browns, he was really good. I think that's not a bad one. Obviously, people think of Mike Allstott with the Buccaneers, right? These more power guys, the way they run. But with Skattebo, Rams Nation, his vision is excellent for this more bruising style. I mean, he sees stuff, finds it, can get the angles, knows where to hit the hole, sees when things are not there, and just creates something out of nothing a lot of times. His agility for a bigger guy is excellent with his his play style, his run style. I'm like, damn, he juked him out. Damn, he had a nice move there. I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. And the power and strength, obviously, is number one, is excellent. Definitely bulldozing, dragging the pile. I mean, absolutely holy crap with that a lot of times. But the speed is average at best. Let's just call it what it is. No game-breaking speed. I mean, there's times where he did bust through and he got caught, many a times, actually. And that is not his forte. But the pass blocking, I think, is average. I think that's something he can work on technique-wise. I think there weren't tons of times where they're like, hey, be back there and pass block. He was usually part of crazy trick plays and pass plays, or was getting sent out, as a weapon. That could be worked on. But breaking tackles, excellent, along with the power and strength. I mean, it was just absurd to see that. Route running, average. There's times that, he ran around and could do it. He wasn't bad or anything. Catching is good. He had some good hands and all that. But, I mean, Mark, sincerely, though, if this guy had good speed, I mean, he would probably be, a high second, debatable first-round pick. Not even a question if his speed was good, right? Again, the vision, the agility, the power and strength. If this guy had breakaway speed, I think, a lot of teams could talk themselves into drafting him in the first round, sincerely.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy. This is one of those guys in the draft. There's always 2 or 3 that people hem and haw. Where does he belong? Is he really that good? Is he worthy of a second-round pick? And someone's going to select him, and in a couple of years, he'll just be wreaking havoc on football fields across the NFL. You just know it. And I just don't know if he adds what he would bring to the Rams. He'd just be a rotational guy, right? He's certainly not going to be a change of pace, maybe a red zone guy. I don't know how he would fit with the 2025 Rams. Is he going to help us make a Super Bowl run other than adding depth? And of course, he does have another strike against him. He's a diehard 49er fan. So he's we're going to have to, Rams draft him. We're going to have to sit him down and have a long talk with him, get him on board. But yeah, he's definitely going to he's going to play some good football for somebody for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the speed is the only issue. And obviously the other things aren't perfect, but everything else, just skill-wise is excellent in my opinion watching film, but that speed. So if the Rams had their available, would it be like, hey, do we bail on a Kyron? Do we draft him in? Do we bail on a Blake? Do we get rid of Ronnie and have him be the third guy? I mean, all these are possible. Let's not discount anything with this Rams organization. But, if the Rams did select him around 2 or 3, I think he definitely, based on everything I've seen on film, is worthy of those selections in those specific rounds, 2 or 3. But who is another player, Rams Nation, who I enjoyed watching? a different running style, in my opinion, for a bigger guy would be, in my opinion, Caleb Johnson from the University of Iowa, who I think is round 2 or 3 worthy. But Mark, what are some fun facts about him?
Okay, I have him at 6 feet even, 225, ran a 4.57 40. So he's in that Kyron Williams speed category. Big Ten running back of the year, 21 rushing TDs, over 1,700 all-purpose yards. And Lance Zierlein, the NFL analyst, said that he's got the body of a bruiser, but he's not really that style necessarily, according to Lance. More finesse than you would expect. He's not just a big bruising running back, and he compared him to Tyler Algier.
Interesting on the comparison, but I have to agree with a lot of those things that he had said there. So for me, what I've seen on film, vision is good. Sometimes I'm like, dang, I wish he would have saw that a little bit better, but I think overall it's pretty good. His agility, though, I think is average, and he is a bigger body guy, and I get all that. But his power and strength is excellent, in my opinion. Definitely a bulldozing style that can get through, and break tackles and all that. But I think the speed is good once a lane opens up and he gets time to kind of accelerate into it. Does that make sense? It's not like, hey, 5 yard, 10 yards, and it's already full speed. Once he gets that 10 plus, then the speed kicks in for like the track level where it's like, oh, he got a lane. There he goes, right? And it's very smooth. It doesn't look like he's running fast, but you see him run away from people and you're like, oh, crap. He is pretty fast. Pass blocking, average. He didn't do it a whole lot, right, as they were just feeding him the rock in Iowa, a running football team, right? That was just their thing for sure. Catching, average. Route running, average. Again, he didn't do it too much. And he only ran, at least from what I saw, 90+% of the time, zone run plays, right? Inside zone, outside zone, stretch runs, some some outside toss zone running plays. So this is somebody who didn't run a lot of gap stuff like we do. Again, duos, whams, traps, counter, power, all that stuff. He did not do a bunch of that at Iowa this last season, which is shocking. Looking at the Iowa offense, I always thought they would have a lot of that in their fold. And not that they didn't do any of it at 0%, but they were definitely more zone heavy with this guy running the ball, and he was really dang good at it. So not a perfect scheme fit. Round 2 or 3 worthy. Some teams are going to fall absolutely in love with him. Teams that run a lot of zone or, at least split that 50-50. And again, that vision, good to excellent. Sometimes some games I was like, some games I was like, holy crap, how did you see that? But that power and strength is excellent, and teams are really going to value that as him being a bigger body guy. So again, somebody who I think could fit in, could learn the scheme, right? Could just naturally, just the way his body is built, should be able to handle a gap scheme like us, but only ran zone, so I'm not 100% sure. You never can be, but somebody who is round 2 or 3 worthy, in my opinion, Mark.
Yeah, according to CBS Sports, again, there's so many good running backs. They have him maybe late 3rd, early 4th, so he could be one guy that drops a little bit just because of the number of good running backs, I think.
Absolutely, but those moments, there's times you're like, holy crap, what a great run that was, and being a bell cow guy, that's valuable. It shows that he can handle being the workhorse, and teams like that. Teams will take chances on that in the 2nd and 3rd round for sure to be a feature guy. So that's him. And another guy who I really enjoyed watching, shout out to a fellow Martinez here, we have University of Miami, Damian Martinez. What's some fun stuff about him, Mark?
Okay, I have him at 6 feet 217, runs a 4.51 40, 3-year starter. And they characterize him as a patient downhill runner, led the team just over a tad over 1,000 yards rushing. And they compared him, Lance, to Dante Foreman. So not sure how you feel about that.
Okay, I don't hate that comparison. And shout out to Damian Martinez as he played with likely first overall pick Cam Ward, who was my number 1 quarterback, who I had ranked. And this dude's vision is excellent. The same thing, sees stuff from the back of his head, right? And he was like, how the hell did he see that? How did he get away from that? Agility, excellent. The jump cuts, the spin moves, the quick feet in the hole, the ability to kind of shake defenders in the hole and get away from some DBs to get away from contact is excellent. His speed is good, right? I don't think it's anything like holy crap game breaking, but I really, really, really liked it, right? The power and strength is excellent in my opinion as well, though, where it was like, man, look him move the pile there. Wow, look at him bulldoze that defender and do that and do that. I think that was very fun to watch, and he's excellent in those things. Pass blocking is good. Once again, things to work on, of course. More times than not, he was doing his job and locking people up there. His catching is average, though. I think that is something teams may not like a lot. We're like, hey, you had some drops, you had some times. And again, he wasn't deployed a whole lot, right? They were just having Cam Ward just throw seam routes and throw laser beams all over the field. So it wasn't like he was getting a big chunk of those pass plays. Route running about average as well, right? And I think overall this is another dang good football player, but I think teams may be turned off from the catching issues. You know, there's always something, but definitely I could see him being, you know, lifted into round 2, but I definitely think he'll go and is round 3 worthy, Mark. But another good freaking awesome running back. Again, that agility and that vision, I mean, that is such a valuable skill set other than just being, you know, powerful and fast and all that. And that's a superpower that will do him well, and I think will get him in the 3rd round, I believe, or his talent should. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, CBS Sports has him ranked right about 11th in the running back room anyways, for reference.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. Hey, not too far off from where we're at right now in this Rams Nation. So I do like him. And if the Rams took him, right, it'd be another, I guess, Thunder approach, but you never know with how things go. Maybe they'd rather have him over Ronnie. Maybe they'd rather have him over Blake. Maybe they say, hey, this will be the tandem going forward when Kyren is, you know, not re-signed. You never know. So Sean McVay will take a running back. It's going to happen. And the next guy, and the final one that I have here, who I think are rounds 1, 2, or 3 worthy in this group, is the University of Texas running back Jaydon Blue. As holy crap, Mark. I mean, this guy is so dang fast. It's ridiculous. And another person who didn't get a lot of burn, but man, oh freaking man. I mean, this guy was, what an insanely fast player. What are some fun facts about that guy?
So he's 5'9", 196. Again, size-wise, he's in that Kyren Williams, Blake Corum, you know, wheelhouse, very close to their metrics, but much faster, like you said, a tad slower than Tootin. Blue comes in at 4.38 in the 40, and he's just a home run hitter, linear runner, and like you mentioned, doesn't have a lot of stats, doesn't have a big resume because they've had such a good running back room there. So not a lot of data on him stats-wise, but it's pretty easy to see on tape that he's the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, Rams Nation, the vision is good. The agility is excellent. Another one, ankle breaker, juking people out, be able to outrun angles or tackling angles, excuse me. The power and strength, I think, is average. That's not his game. He's not some bulldozing guy. He's not going to be like, hey, let's get these tough yardage and get an extra yard or two. That's definitely not his thing. But that speed is excellent. Home run hitting ability. Finds a lane, has a chance to burst through and, you know, outrun a linebacker. Forget it. He's going to outrun the whole defense. His pass blocking is pretty good, actually, for being a smaller stature guy. I liked a lot of his reps that he did. Breaking his tackles, about average or so, right? I didn't think he was, you know, carrying guys or able to, like, get through a bunch of arm tackles. Sometimes he would get tripped up, but this is important here, Rams Nation. His route running and catching is excellent. Excellent. He has receiver level route running nuances to his game, right? The quick feet in and out of breaks, the hands, over the shoulder catches, back shoulder, toe drag swag stuff. I mean, this is somebody I know Sean McVay and Rams brass would really love to get as a compliment. Another lightning to the thunder who also has fantastic receiving ability on top of obviously being able to run the football and, you know, break away that way. So another person who has no problem running the gap stuff, has no problem running the zone, but this would be a perfect lightning to the thunder with the superpower of receiving and catching for him, Mark, Rams Nation.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about Blue and Tootin, you know, these are guys that, and I know there's some disagreement among Ram fans based on what I see on the YouTube channel, I'm in the camp that if we're drafting for a 2025 Super Bowl run, which we better be, I want a Blue or a Tootin more so than one of the big backs. That's just me, though. You're welcome to disagree with me, but these guys, you imagine this offense. Kyron's your main guy. Blake Corum, basically insurance rotational guy. Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington. I think we're squared away there. We might need an upgrade at tight end, and then you run a guy like this out there occasionally. The playbook just expands so much with guys like this and guys like Tootin. So I don't know if the Rams are going to use their draft capital on running back that early at all, but if they do, I'd prefer a Blue or a Tootin, and yeah, Blue really excites me.
Yeah, it's the receiving stuff is filthy, and he's another player. Imagine if he got a serious workload, maybe not full time, all 3 downs, drive after drive after drive, but even if he had gone, let's say like the Travion Henderson, Judkins amount of split for them at Texas, right? Let's say he got the same amount of snaps and opportunities as Travion Henderson from Ohio State. I think his stats and everything would be right up there just based on his home run hitting ability. That's a tongue twister right there. But yeah, Mark, I mean, this is just guys who I thought are rounds 1, 2, or 3 worthy, and there's so much more that could either be in front of them or teams like more than these guys we had named here today. And there could be guys on this list we talked about today that just get, dropped down into later rounds, round 4, 5, and 6, just because maybe, again, this is purely based off film. Maybe they have off the field issues. Maybe they don't care enough about football and teams get turned off about that, right? There's some guys that just do it because it's an occupation, not because they love the game. Maybe there's players that, are ranked ahead of them by other position groups and teams who don't value, right? They're saying, oh, we'll get Jadon Blue in round 5, right? Because we can get a running back any round. And there's that mentality, and teams we know will just naturally shove down the importance of running backs later and later, maybe more than what their talent is worth, like all these guys, I believe. So these are just my projection based off talent, based off what I've seen off film. But all 11 of those guys are rounds 1, 2, or 3 worthy, in my opinion. And if the Rams got them, I would be excited about it, and you should be too, with all that talent that is out there. And I think we'll find somebody good, Mark. Long story short.
Yeah, and I think we will. And I also am in the camp that the Rams are going to look for weapons in this draft. They're going to look for weapons, whether it's tight end, wide receiver, running back. That's going to be their focus, I think. Yeah, they need a linebacker. They need some defensive line depth, maybe a cornerback. Yeah. And they'll get those guys. But I think the emphasis, I could be wrong here, but if I were to guess, at the top of this draft, they're going to draft weapons.
I think so too. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. We need more offensive threat and firepower. More the better, right? We have to outscore the Eagles, outscore the Lions, right? Other teams that, Washington now all of a sudden is a team that's just scoring a bunch of points on everybody. So we're going to have to have some fireworks for a team that could not score touchdowns to save their lives outside of Kyren Williams majority of the season. Having some more running back firepower, whether it be all-around guys, whether it be the lightning guys to our thunder, or just adding more thunder to the clouds of thunder that we already have in the backfield. I think all 11 of these guys we named today are definitely worthy of that. But Rams Nation, which running back do you want to see drafted by the Rams in rounds 1, 2, or 3? You can name them individually per round. You can name them just like, hey, give me that guy in round 3 only. Save the other picks for other positions. I want to hear your thoughts on that. But man, Mark, what a great freaking group this 11 was to watch on film.
It is, and you nailed it too. The lack of explosive plays, and there's a few guys here that could really change that real quickly for us.
Absolutely. But Rams Nation, the draft is wild, unpredictable. Keep these guys in mind. Obviously, we have your favorites, but you never know how that first round is going to shake up. Maybe Sean McVay loves one of these guys, wants to trade up, and with the rounds 1, 2, or 3, and hopefully that will be someone you would be excited about if they're on this Rams roster for sure. But that'll do it here, Rams Nation, on this offseason draft edition of the Rams Up Podcast Network. Like, subscribe, share this video, and podcast with all your fellow friends. Again, let us know in the comment section about the running backs you want to see on the Rams from this rookie class. That'll do it here. Mark, anything before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. That's plenty for one night.
Yeah, it is. I know. A lot of draft stuff. We're going to just keep going and going as we'll have more videos like this within the next couple of weeks. We'll have some other shared content with other members from a podcast network or two. And we'll definitely keep cranking out mock drafts and all this other fun draft stuff to get you up to date and ready for the important weeks ahead. That'll do it. Gosh, I'm so excited for Rams draft season. Man, oh man, what is going to happen? But that'll do it. And go Rams, baby.
All right. Good job being out here.
Peace.